What if you could actually sit down and talk to Jim Morrison? Ask him anything you wanted about his art, his persona, the whole shebang. Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're using a really unique fictional dialogue as our guide, a kind of dreamlike encounter to unlock the mind of rock's most enigmatic poet.
So the way this whole thing kicks off is pretty wild. Our source material begins with what it calls an invocation dream spell. It's this ritual to conjure Jim Morrison's spirit into a special room, a place where the barrier between our world and the next is, super thin. And get this, they've only got a limited amount of time measured by a 2-hour glass, so every single question has to count.
And just like that, bam, he's there. And with his very first words, you can just feel that poetic, philosophical mind firing on all cylinders. He's not some passive ghost just waiting to be interviewed. Nope, he immediately starts questioning his surroundings, setting this curious, maybe even slightly confrontational stage for the whole conversation. All right, let's get into our first big topic here. We all know those iconic, powerful, and let's be honest, often controversial lyrics. But where did they actually come from? What was the source?
So the first question they ask, his spirit gets right to the heart of it all. It's the one every fan, every critic has probably asked themselves. What was the wellspring, the fountainhead, for a style that was such a potent mix of poetry, mythology, and just raw, primal energy?
And his answer? Wow. It has absolutely nothing to do with commercial songwriting. For him, the real source was the subconscious mind, all that unfiltered chaos from dreams and primal urges. He wasn't aiming for the top 40 charts, he was trying to conjure something real, something dangerous, almost like a shaman casting a spell with his words.
So you see, this wasn't just random inspiration, he actually had a method. First, you have to listen to what's going on deep inside, in the subconscious. Then, you got to rip away that polite veneer of society and expose the raw duality in all of us, the beast and the angel. Only then, once you have that raw material, can you shape it into what he called these powerful incantations.
Okay, next up, the big one, the Lizard King. We've all heard the name, but was it just an act? Or was it something much, much deeper? Let's unpack it.
This is really the central question about his wild stage presence, right? Was it all a performance? Just a character he put on for the crowd? Or were we seeing the real, unfiltered Jim Morrison breaking right through the surface?
And what's so fascinating is his answer. It was never one or the other. It was both, this incredible paradox. On one hand, it was absolutely a deliberate ritualized act. He was exploring boundaries, pushing against the limits to see what would break. But on the other hand, it was a totally authentic expression of his primal self, the part of him that wanted to shed that skin of polite society and, as he put it, go dancing with the shadows.
Of course, Jim wasn't up there alone. His incantations were supercharged by the completely unique sound of the Doors. So how did that musical alchemy, that magic, actually work?
This is so cool. This is Morrison's own poetic breakdown of his bandmates. Just think about these pieces coming together. You've got Ray Manzarek's organ, which he calls the church, the carnival, the classical. It's hypnotic. Then there's Robbie Krieger's guitar, bringing in the blues, flamenco, the Wild West. John Densmore is the heartbeat, that primal driving rhythm. And Jim himself, he just calls his part the madness, the voice trying to wrestle a melody out of all that incredible sound.
And this quote just sums up their entire philosophy, doesn't it? They had zero interest in fitting into some pre-made genre box. Their mission was to forge their own path, to create a sound that felt liberating, beautiful, and, yeah, maybe just a little bit unsafe.
All right, so as the sand in that fictional hourglass starts to run out, the conversation turns to the ultimate question. After all the poetry, the wild performances, the groundbreaking music, what was the point of it all? What was the final intention?
And the answer boils down to one single powerful word: transcend. The entire purpose of his art, from the lyrics he wrote to the chaos on stage, was to help himself and to help the audience rise above the mundane, everyday world and experience something more.
This is the key idea right here. His work was meant to be a powerful reminder that reality has layers. That just beneath the calm, ordinary surface of life, there are these hidden depths of beauty, chaos, and mystery just waiting for you to explore them.
As his spirit fades in this story, we're left with this phrase, the core mission statement that really defined not just his band, but his entire artistic life. It was always about opening those hidden doors inside our own minds. So, we're left with a final thought to chew on. The whole goal of the Doors music was to be a journey of perception.
And the question for us all these years later is still the same. When you put on one of their records today, where does that journey take you?